Hey guys, Brad from RotoHeat back at it with another 2020 player outlook. Today we're talking Leonard Fournette, running back, Jacksonville Jaguars. If this is your first time checking out a RotoHeat video, welcome. We're glad to have you. If this isn't your first time, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification icon so you can stay up to date with all the amazing player outlooks that the RotoHeat.com team puts here on YouTube.
Everything's on fire. Everything's on fire. Everything's on fire.
Fournette is an interesting case as he is being disrespected. Obviously, there are the fact that we know he's not played in full 16 games in his entire NFL career. On the flip side of it, 2019, he proved a lot of people wrong. You know, he caught 76% of the passes that came his way. So that debunked the myth that he isn't a very good receiver out of the backfield. You know, he caught 76 receptions out of 100 in just 2019 alone. You know, when you look at his career as a receiver, now obviously 2019 was big. You know, Minshew is the quarterback. They got a young quarterback. He's going to be dumping it off a lot. High percentage passes to the running back, and it went well for Fournette. But even in his career, he's never had a lower reception percentage than 75%. You know, when things come his way, he catches them. The concern obviously is that injury risk because he's such a physical running back, and you know, it's as if he looks for contact, which isn't a bad thing as a running back, but that opens you up to far more contact and far more injuries from that contact. In 2020, he's easily an RB1. I have no doubt saying that he's probably, you know, in the top 10 when it comes to running backs, especially in 2020 alone. You know, look at what Jacksonville did in the offseason. They traded Nick Foles, so we know it's the Minshew show. They didn't really address the quarterback situation in a way. So I would expect to see similar offenses to what they did in 2019 with Minshew, but, you know, hopefully the progression's there so Minshew can develop a little bit more, but that still means they're going to lean on Fournette. They're going to lean on that running game. He's going to get a lion's share of the carries, and he's going to get a ton of the receptions out of the backfield. You know, Fournette is a guy that if you're looking in 2020 from a redraft perspective, you're going to have to grab him earlier, you know, in the first few rounds, depending on your type of redraft. In a dynasty format, I would still be trading for him. I know that this is probably his last year on his deal. The thing you have to be concerned about in a dynasty format is that infamous second contract for running backs tends to spell negatives, and it tends to lead to negative results for a fantasy team. So don't be overpaying in the dynasty format. If you can get them for a reasonable price, and most likely reasonable is you know, kind of a late first. You know, if you're a contending team and need to shore up your running backs, I would be comfortable sending a first for Fournette to make sure you've got consistent RB1 production when he's on the field. We have to hope that he continues to work hard to earn the opportunity for another contract, you know, but the running back market as a whole, I mean, Melvin Gordon was a perfect example last year. He held out, failed miserably for him, had to sign, you know, a much lesser deal and to go to Denver. So Fournette, unfortunately, will be stuck in a very similar type situation where, you know, he's not going to get probably what he's worth and what he wants. But from a fantasy perspective, you know, he still has a few good years left where you can get some good value from him if you're playing him and he's on your roster. The hope has to be that, you know, the Jacksonville focuses on other areas in the 2020 draft, and maybe they're able to bring back Fournette because what's behind him isn't amazing. I mean, Armstead's not bad, but he's complimentary. You know, Fournette's truly their stud type running back, the guy who can be more of a workhorse if there really is truly that on this team. He's the closest thing to it, you know. So in 2020, expect a fair amount of receptions. You know, he's probably not going to get 100 targets again, but I would expect him in the 65 to 80 type range. He probably is going to lose 20 or so targets, I would think, maybe even a little more. You know, maybe you just cap it at 75, and if he's catching most of those, that's good. That's good for fantasy production. You know, I still expect him to be 1,000, you know, about 1,000 to maybe 1,200-1,300 yard rusher. Obviously, injuries, you know, change the whole dynamic, but I feel comfortable with him as an RB1 on your roster, especially in redraft. And if you're a team that's competing, he's a guy that's going to do well for you this year. Let me know below. Do you think he's a 1,000-yard rusher? Do you think he's going to be anything after this season? Make sure you hit us up over on our Discord chat or in our Facebook community, or find us over on Twitter at RotoHeat Fantasy or at RotoHeat Brad if you want to get at me directly. Make sure you just let us know what you think about Leonard Fournette going forward.
Also, right there, playlist. Hit it. Watch the videos. Do it. You want to. Do it.